Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the SL India Premiership Summer Seasons Master League. I'm your host, Angela. Now we're moving into the third and the final game of the day. It's going to be Dora 2, and it's being played by two teams who I've known for quite a while. It's one team that has been formed recently with one team who has players who played in the SL India Premiership before. So let's first see team number one. It's going to be ATE Gaming. Alright, so that is ATE Gaming for you folks. They're a team from Bombay, and as of now, they sit 8th on the leaderboard. They have played 5 games till now, won 2, lost 3. And today they're going up against a team that's the 3rd on the leaderboard, Buriza Gaming. Alright, so that is Team Buriza. They're a team from Delhi, and as of now, they sit 3rd on the board. They've got 12 points to their name. They've won 4 games, and they're looking pretty fine. I'm also going to be mostly seeing them at the LAN finale. They're performing exceeding well. Now, both these teams have not played each other before, so this is going to be a very exciting matchup. If we could just see the standings as of now, we'll be able to see how these two teams have been performing. Now, ATA Gaming is sitting 8th. They've played 5 games. They've lost 3, won 2, but they have 6 points secured for their name. Now, that also means they've got 6 more games to play before they actually decide where they stand on the leaderboard as of now. So they've got some time for themselves and are looking pretty fine. If they do manage to win another 3 games, they would be securing themselves in the Masters League, and that's fine for them. If they want to make it, of course, to the LAN finale, they have to be in the top 4 of the Masters League. Meanwhile, Team Buriza is sitting above ROG Titans for now. One of the reasons could be because they've already played 6 games. They have taken 4 victories and 2 losses. They've also secured 12 points. But ruling the board as of now, we have Team Signify. They've played 8 games. They've won all 8. They've got 24 whooping points to their name, and they definitely secured themselves a slot in the Masters League Grand Finale that's going to be happening in June. Reckoning Esports, of course, sitting 2nd over there. They've played 5 games. They won 4, lost 1. They're sitting with 12 points. Teamed up with Team Buriza almost with 6 games. 4 games. They have won 2. They have lost 12 points to themselves. They're looking pretty strong. They've still got another 4 games to play, so they could really make it one of the top teams to make it to the LAN finale. Cullies, of course, they've won all their 3 games that they have played. They're sitting with 9 points. Still got to play a lot more games before they can stand and decide where are they actually going to be at the end of the season. Buriza Youth, the sisters of Team Buriza, are also doing fine for themselves. They're sitting on the 6th spot. They have played 5 games, won 3, lost 2, and are sitting with 9. So the positions of 4, 5, 6, 7 are all sitting on 9 points, and they could be the ones that end up still sitting in the Masters League. They're not going to be removed, but the places of the 12, 11, 10, and 9, that's Alpha, Nafiris, Katsuki, and the Council, got to be a little careful because every loss that they face, they could be moved down from the Masters League into the Challenger League, and that is a very risky place to sit in if you're already a team in the Masters League. Alpha, of course, got to be the most cautious because they've already finished playing 7 games. They've not really been able to secure a single victory for themselves, but I'm hoping that they at least manage to secure 2 games. Of course, they will be moving into the Challengers League, but they've also made their way from the Challengers League to the Masters League, and this time around in this Masters League, the teams are very, very strong. So really, if you look at it, it's not really a bad spot to be at. I mean, you're played against some of the most brilliant teams in the country, whether you talk about Signify, you talk about ROG Titans, you talk about Buriza, you talk about Team Buriza Youth too. But talking about the game, let's head into the draft now. The players are ready, so let's see what they've decided to ban and pick. ATA Gaming banning out the Omni Knight, the Sand King, and the Disruptor. Meanwhile, Buriza are going to ban out the Life Stealer, Clockwork, and Brewmaster. They're going to quickly pick up that Leshrac. Now, they have played this Leshrac before, and they look very confident on it. They also like to play the Doom quite a bit, so they could opt to pick up the Doom in the offlane if they want to do that. ATA Gaming on the other side, they like to play the Rubik also quite a bit, the Viper and the Void. I'm hoping to see whether they decide decide to go with their normal draft, which is more of a five-man push, or decide to split this game and see if they can get those early kills with their third and their fourth role, and then maybe later take it into split push and take this game to where it could be. The Dark Willow is still available if they opt to want to pick that up. Of course, there's also the Terrorblade, but he's recently got a nerf, so I'm doubting whether they're going to be actually playing that hero anymore in the Master League draft. But as we talk about that, the Tusker, who is a favorite at the fourth role, is going to quickly get picked up by ATE Gaming. They also have the Witch Doctor if they want to take it at the fifth. But again, with him getting a nerf, it could be a risky to be picking him at this point of time. Also, looking at this draft, I do see that the Razor has not been picked up yet. So ATE Gaming or Team Razor could choose to pick up that hero in their mid lane and secure a very strong mid lane, even if there is a puck opposite them. And I do know this, that Team Bariza loves to play the puck in the mid lane, so if they choose to do that or even the off lane, the Razor could fare beautifully well against them. But Brewmaster getting that ban, they're very interesting ban coming there from Team Bariza. ATA Gaming hasn't really played the Brewmaster till now, but ATA Gaming going to quickly pick up that Rubik. They do like that pickup, suits their gameplay, and also in the options now I see that with that Rubik and Tusker, they could opt to go for a mid lane Viper. If they choose to do that, they could also opt to go for the OD. But Team Bariza going to pick up that Timbersaw. I think this is the second time in the SL India Premiership we've seen a Timbersaw, maybe the first. He's a brilliant off-laner as we know it, and all his skills kind of been giving him the leverage to kind of stay in that off-lane and face that very strong tri-lane coming in there from ATE Gaming. Also, mostly is going to be Darshan who's going to be playing on the off-lane Timbersaw, and he plays the Timbersaw pretty well. So if he doesn't really die much in the early stages of the game, he could be pretty devastating for ATA Gaming in that tri-lane. But as of now, the bans are ready to be taken place. We're going to have the fourth ban coming in there from AT Gaming. They got to be very careful what they decide to ban out over here. Could they ban the mid? Could they ban a carry? Because whatever bans out now, Team Bariza is going to be picking up something on a similar grounds in the next pick phase that they have for them. But the Viper, I'm still worried if the Viper is open. The ATE Gaming will opt to pick that up. The OD is still available. I also know that ATE Gaming like to play the Invoker, so they could also send the Invoker mid for themselves. But they're going to quickly ban off the Witch Doctor, even though he's got enough in the recent patch. His Maledict now is no longer 20 seconds from the beginning. You got to get the Maledict at level 1, and it is at 50 seconds cooldown, and then it reduces over time as you level it up. But still a threat in the game as of now, so AT Gaming not going to be really concerned. I'm going to just quickly ban out that Witch Doctor. They don't really want that death ward damage going in with the Leshrac. But Team Bariza are going to quickly ban out the Monkey King now. They don't want that devastating Monkey King in the offlane. Also, he gives quite a lot of vision. Team Bariza, of course, looking at their draft, I also see that they have the Night Stalker available if they choose to pick that. But Puck going to get a respect ban from there from ATA Gaming. He's pretty strong in this match, and there could be a lot of conclusions that come out of that. Puck is played in the mid lane, or even if he's sent into another lane. But Dark Willow going to be the next pickup coming in there from ATE Gaming. So it's going to be Tusker, Rubik, and Dark Willow coming in there from ATE Gaming. Mostly in offlane. Dark Willow could be also a support, but I doubt they're going to send the Dark Willow support, and mostly it's going to be an off-lane Dark Willow coming in there for them. They do like to play. They also like to play the Arc Warden quite a bit. So they could choose to play the Arc Warden, or they could also opt to go for a Void who could fit in them. But Team Bariza are going to complete their support picks with that Jakiro. Now, this long-range stun coming in from the Liquid Fire, there could be a lot of tower damage. And I think Bariza is looking to take this game in the first 25 minutes. Quickly with that Leshrac and the Jakiro, get as much as damage as they can on the tower. This could also mean that they're opting to pick a Luna to go with this kind of lineup. But then they would get a little too squishy, and it could be a little risky for them. But let's see what they go for. As of now, they're going to ban out the Razor. They do want to see that in the mid lane. They want to make sure that whoever goes mid from their team is at a secure location. ATE Gaming do like to also play the Shadow Fiends. If they opt to go and pick up the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane, they could be doing pretty well for them. But they also got to be careful, because with the Leshrac and Jakiro, the SF becomes quite easy to kill in the early stages. But it also says they don't really have an exact point to stun. So if they don't get that stun off on the Shadow Fiend, he could be pretty strong. But ATA going to make sure that nothing like that happens. They're going to pick up the OD for their mid lane pickup, and they're looking pretty strong now. They have a lot of magic damage coming in from them. But Bariza also looking quite fine for them. They're going to quickly pick up that Gyrocopter. Gyro, of course, I'm still not a very big fan of the Gyrocopter. I mean, he is a pretty good carry, but you need to get those basic items up and running on him. If you don't get that, he kind of has a little bit of struggling in the game. But it also says that ATE Gaming got to pick up something to counter that Gyro. They still have the Luna available, they still have the Troll available. If they opt to go for that, they could think of even the Void, as a matter of fact. But even the Viper, actually, if you think about it, can go into as a carry role. But I doubt they're going to go for that. Mostly they're going to either go for a Void, or they could even go for something like a Terrorblade. But he's recently got a nerf, so I'm doubting if ATE Gaming is going to take that chance. For now, the clock is ticking, and they got to make sure that they pick and ban the right reserve time on the clock. But Death Prophet going to get banned out from ATE Gaming. Now they're very worried what Buriza is trying to go in the mid lane. That also shows that Buriza doesn't really want a very strong tower damage combination coming there from Team Buriza. But Buriza, looking at them very strong, they could opt to pick up even the Queen of Pain in the mid lane, and that could fare very well for themselves. They have the mobility coming in from the Timbersaw, but this also puts into question that whether they want to go with the Wind Ranger, get that early Agnum Scepter up and running on them, and mostly take down the towers as fast as possible. The tank is available on the Timbersaw, so they have the front line. They also have the stunts, but they're going to opt to go for the Viper now. They need another tanker, and it's going to be the Viper for them. So Team Buriza finishing the draft over there, looking very good for themselves. They have whatever they need. They have the tank, they have the damage, they have the magical damage, and they have time to give that Gyro to just get up and get that farm running and going. He could also opt to go for an early Sound and Yasha. Could work for him. He could also opt to go for a very different build. That's up to him, but mostly he's, I think, going to go into a Divine Rapier if that could happen, and be really fun to see, because as of now we've only seen 2 Divine games in the SL India Premiership. AT Gaming looking to pick up their last pick, also their carry pick, one of the most risky picks as of now that they got to make, and they got to be very careful what they decide to go. But it's going to be a Juggernaut finishing the draft for ATE Gaming, with Tinker getting banned out from Team Buriza. ATE Gaming was sure not to go for another mid hero, and they're going to complete their draft with the Juggernaut. And this looks pretty fun. I mean, both the teams have everything they need. They've really planned out their drafts very well, and they're looking to see how this game is going to go. I'm going to put my bets, though, on Team Buriza. I like the draft better. They've got more versatility in that. They've got more damage. But if ATE Gaming is able to counter that draft beautifully well, I think they've got a very big chance of taking this game. So let's see how this game is going to go. We have our caster, Nishant Cloudx Patel, to tell you more about what's going to happen, and I will see you all right after that.
Welcome back, everybody, to the ESL India Premiership. We're watching Buriza take on ATE Gaming in today's matchup. It's a best of one. I'm going to be bringing you all the action. It's CloudX, but I'm solo tonight. Unfortunately, Vivek and Floki have lost their voices casting all day for the last couple of days. Buriza going to be on the Radiant. You've got ATE Gaming on the Dire. I think we've got a disconnection and hence a pause, which is why taking a while to actually load into the game. But interesting draft coming out here from both teams. I see Potter running the Leshrac for Buriza. We've also got a Gyro and a Viper thrown into the mix. We've also got an OD pickup despite the nerfs coming out to the Arcane Orb of late. However, this is one of those situations where the OD pick might still be effective, considering they've got the Timbersaw on the other side. And hey, to be honest, Viper's not the ideal hero to take on the OD towards the mid and late game stages either. Of course, there is the fact that Nether Toxin does disable passives, and yeah, Aura on the OD is indeed a passive, which is possibly one of the reasons why they considered picking it up. But I still feel like OD is going to be alright even in the laning stage here. After all, with the changes to the recent patch in Dota, made it now resembles a 1v1 more than it ever did over the last couple of months. I expect this to be an uncontested matchup between the Viper and the OD, while I might just see dual lanes being run here by both teams. ATE Gaming might consider running the Rubik and the Juggernaut on one side with the Dark Willow and the Tusk towards the bottom. Buriza expect them to run the Timbersaw +1 on the top side, leaving the Leshrac and leaving the the Gyro +1 on the bottom. Interestingly though, we're looking at a support Leshrac here. I mean, I guess the 4th position Leshrac isn't terrible. Got a disconnect coming out from Rival. No mention as to why. However, I know for a fact that a bunch of these players have played with and against each other on more than one occasion in the past. Um, Puriza is actually both teams are comprised of a bunch of young upcoming stars in the Indian Dota circuit, and they've been quite impressive of late. Question is, can they really take on the big two of Indian Dota anytime soon? I mean, that's one of the reasons why the ESL India Premierships format seems to be quite useful. You've got multiple matches over a course of 3 months coming out here. You've got the top team only scrimming versus each other time and again. I feel like season one is still going to be a bit of a testing ground. Season two, or rather phase two. Wait, I've got to get this right. The winter, the fall season should probably be where we see a consolidation of sorts, where teams from the Challenger League then move up and the teams from the Masters League move down. Probably when we'll get to see a slightly more competitive circuit, Masters League. I believe there's a bunch of teams from the Philippines and Thailand that have started making their way up the ranks as well through the starter cups. Neon is one of them. I, for one, can't wait till they get here to the big boy circuit. Those of you just tuning in, you're watching the ESL India Premiership. We're now sitting with the best of one waiting to get underway between ATE Gaming and Team Buriza. However, the great Indian Dota pause is in effect once again. I don't know if this is just my luck or if this has been happening every single game in the Premiership, but almost always a disconnection or some sort of an issue right as the draft ends. Let's hope that ATE Gaming can resolve these issues ASAP. Get themselves back into the game. Based on drafts alone, I want to say this is going to be a fairly evenly contested game. I mean, Buriza's got a lot of magic damage, and if anything, I'd say that they're lacking a little bit in the mid-game physical DPS department. Sure, the Gyro's eventually going to scale into the physical DPS core that they need him to be, but for the most part, he's going to be running heavy magic DPS, and that's where the Juggernaut with the Blade Fury might prove to be a chink in Buriza's armor. The Viper can compensate for the sort of lack of physical damage on the side of Buriza. However, with the OD in the mix, I think there's going to be a fair amount of control keeping the Viper at bay, and also defensive layer with the Astral Imprisonment coming out upon a Viper struck target. But as far as teamfight control goes, I do want to say that Buriza is a bit outgunned, and that's primarily on account of the Dark Will on the side of ATE Gaming. Bramble Maze can be an absolute nuisance to deal with in those long drawn out team fights, and especially in the absence of BKBs in the early and mid game stages on Buriza. I think ATE Gaming might just have enough wiggle room to go in and find themselves the necessary lockdown for the Juggernaut to dish out damage. The only real issue on the side of ATE Gaming is the lack of AoE damage. I mean, you've got the Sanity's Eclipse, but that's on a really long cooldown, so there's an opportunity for Buriza to exploit that. And the Juggernaut, I wouldn't really go so far as to say that he's a source of AoE damage. The Blade Fury after a point just turns into a defensive mechanism as opposed to dishing out AoE magic damage. They've got a lot of single target lockdown and single target damage, however. Buriza might be able to mitigate that by simply clumping up together with defensive items like the Pipe and maybe even a Crimson Guard eventually. Well, we're getting to the point where I'm going to start Googling dad jokes and talking about random nonsense like philosophy and life. I'm really hoping that Rival jumps back into this game ASAP. Internet issue will be back. Lovely. What are the odds though, right? I mean, they've all been following the rules. Both teams joined the lobby a good 15 to 30 minutes earlier. And then you have a disconnection just as the draft ends. This is really unfortunate for Rival and for ATE Gaming. Well, at least the early game looks like it's going to be fairly well contested. I want to say Buriza has the upper hand in the early game stage. But I've been proven wrong on more than one account in the ESL India Premiership. What if they do if they do prefer to run tri lanes? We're looking at a Juggernaut, a Tusk, and a Rubik going safe lane. They're gonna be up against either a dual lane with the Timbersaw plus the Leshrac, or they're gonna be up against just the Timbersaw. They've got enough lockdown. They've definitely got enough lockdown to deal with the Timbersaw, but I'm not certain if they've got the kill potential to take him out post the first couple of levels. On the flip side, though, if they do run a tri lane, that means we're going to see a Dark Willow offlane duking it out versus a Gyro, a Jakiro, a Gyro and a Jakiro. And I don't think Dark Willow's got enough to deal with that. Well, enough about speculation, folks. I'm going to throw it over towards production. We're going to take a quick break while Rival reconnects. Stay with us. When we come back, the ESL India Premiership will resume.
Guy's out. Decoy.
That was beast.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
The ESL India Premiership 2018 has 3 seasons: summer, fall, and winter. The summer season takes place from April to June, while the fall season runs from July to September. Finally, the winter season takes place from October to December. Coming to tournament formats, each season is divided into 3 tiers: the professional tier, the Master League; the semi-professional tier, the Challenger Series; the Open tier, the Starter Cups. Moving on to the frequency, every season in the ESL India Premiership 2018 will see 1 Master League, 3 Challenger Series, and 3 Starter Cups. The Masters League now hosts 12 teams and players. Meanwhile, the Challenger Series has 8 contestants and follows a double elimination format. Finally, the Starter Cups are now limited to only 128 participants, so make sure you register for the Premiership now. Once you register for the Starter Cup 1, you'll have to fight your way to the top. At the end of the phase, you will get promoted to the Challenger Series 1. You should try and maintain your position in the Challenger Series 1, 2 and 3. But this is no easy task. At the end of every phase, the bottom 2 contestants are dropped out. They are replaced by the top teams from the Starter Cups. Those who succeed in the Challenger Series are rewarded with promotion to the Master League. The top 4 teams will proceed to play in the next season's Masters League. Meanwhile, the Master League runs uninterrupted until the end of the season. The 12 champions will constantly try to establish their dominance over the others. But at the end of a season, the bottom 4 teams are relegated to the Challenger Series, while the top 4 play at the Land Finale for the top prize. ESL India Premiership 2018 begins in April. The registrations are on, so make sure you sign up now.
Alrighty then, looks like we're gonna have this game getting underway with a 4 versus 5 situation. AT Gaming tried everything, including connecting Rival via hotspot internet. So they've got no option now. The rules have enforced a resume, and they're gonna be playing 4 versus 5. This cannot bode well for AT Gaming, and I for one am glad that betting is not enabled on these matches. I'm very curious to see how Buriza makes the most of this. And if AT Gaming can actually pull something off here, color me impressed. But I don't know if they're going to play with the hope that Rival is going to reconnect, or if they're just going to go ahead and play 4 versus 5 with the assumption that he's just not coming back. Anyway, Blue Frog, he's going to start off with an Observer Ward and a Sentry Ward. Drops down the Observer on his own cliff here, prioritizing Rune Vision over the Slope Vision. Got a pause from Darshan this time. Darshan being kind and using his pause time for AT Gaming. Nope, it's just for settings. That is unfortunate. Of course, Blue Frog is gonna say take your time. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if one of AT Gaming's players just jumped into their friend's Discord on the side of Buriza and told them, guys, please pause. Coming. Butter. Started off with the boots. No mana consumables just yet. I guess he's gonna wait for the first bounty room. Pick up those clarities, or maybe even a mango early on. But he does have a fairly decent mana pool to begin with. 460 mana is no joke, my friends. Frog. You know, we talked about the magic damage coming out from Buriza, but we didn't talk about the subtle effective HP that Blue Frog will add once he gets points into the Null Field Aura as well. Uh-oh. Nevermore. Good eye shots there, getting himself away, just barely staying alive. Just literally on a sliver of HP there. He's forced to pop his salve and get away. However, it looks like he picked up the bounty rune as well. So okay then, it's 2 apiece. A salve expended, no first blood given up. ATE still in an okay situation. They're even going to use Rival, not just giving him up altogether. They're use him, give him some EXP up until the point when he reconnects. First, they're going to use him to zone out the Jakiro on the side as well. First round coming out, Helm. Does end up getting stunned up. Nevermore can't duke it out here. He's got to be careful because there is a point in the rocket barrage here for the gyro. But Saurabh is interested in CSing right now. As long as Helm can keep the Tusk at bay, it's okay. We're just taking the CS under his tower, or close to his tower here. Saurabh back a bit. The dual breath will connect onto the creep wave as well. This is gonna mess with the creep equilibrium for Saurabh. Really, I feel like Nevermore is walking on thin ice. Oh, he's even gonna get dewarded here. This is unfortunate. What? What? Why? He dropped the sentry ward. That's a Radiant Sentry and a Dire Observer. Why did he... Okay, I guess he's just leaving it for Saurabh. Playing it safe. There's no sentries here, so might as well give Saurabh the extra 100 gold. Problem is, Saurabh's gonna have to leave his creep wave to go and take that out. But he's gonna get it and come back in time for the creeps as well. Up top, are we seeing any action? Looks like Darshan started off with the reactive armor. He's okay with just duking it out here with Mystery Player, but the Blade Fury will do a fair bit of damage. That's magic damage, and it does connect. Fade Bolt as well. Darshan drops, and it'll be first blood going over towards Mystery Player. It's silly coming up from Darshan there. Frog also sitting at level 2 now. Has both the telekinesis as well as the Fade Bolt. However, bottom lane, I missed the kill. It looks like Nevermore ended up going down here. Saurabh does end up getting the kill, and now he's even going to go pick up the bounty rune. Should put them right back into the game. In fact, it should put them ahead of the net worth curve because they're going to get the bounty rune closer to their side as well. Actually, all 4 bounty runes picked up at him. Player has another Blade Fury available if he wants to use it. However, it's Butter going to work on Blue Frog now, who does have a telekinesis. Look at this. Blue Frog just baits him under the tower, throws him further behind. But Blue Frog even gets the Fade Bolt off now. Can Butter get the hell out of here? Apparently not. I guess that was the right decision from Blue Frog. Just trading even, getting a kill for himself. The only problem is he doesn't get the EXP from that. Died first. It's 2 for 2 ATE Gaming. Fight playing 4 versus 5. Seem to be doing alright for now, but eventually the numbers advantage is going to start to get overwhelming here. Just on the side, there's the Timbersaw going in as well. Going further now, here comes the Blade Fury. Butter taking a bit of damage, but he's got those boots, so that movement speed is going to get him away. In fact, the turnaround is coming now. Blue Frog going to get hit with the Timber Chain. There's the Split Earth connecting as well. No points in the Lightning Storm. However, the auto attacks might just be enough. One more hit from Butter ought to do it. He will get the kill. A Fade Bolt clips him in return, but it's not going to secure a return kill for Mystery Player. Buriza starting to assert their dominance on this top lane. Bottom lane, Tusk just really skirting around the periphery here. The objective seems to be to simply stay alive in this lane and leech EXP, but not certain that an off-lane Tusk is going to be able to do as much. They were really counting on Rival to be their off-laner, bringing the control to the team fight. For now though, got a fairly even start here. Light advantage going over towards Team Buriza. Micro 17 and 10 CS up against the OD, who's sitting at a mere 13 for 2. Those 10 denies really starting to add up here. You can already see Micro sitting at level 5, but up top looks like Mystery Player is going to go down once again. Another Split Earth is available. It's not entirely going to be necessary. Edict will connect and then a Split Earth will finish the job. Meanwhile, back at bottom, kills just yet. We're looking at ATE Gaming microing the disconnected player to try and keep him going. Boarding going on the side here. ATE just trying to secure their top lane to the best of their ability. But really, I think it's beyond the point where they can score a kill on this Timbersaw. In fact, Timbersaw is just going to get super aggressive here. They do have the phase boots on Mystery Player. Darshan, I think he popped the Timber Chain a tad bit too early there, and he's going to have to pay for that with his life. He has another one available. In fact, he's going back in, and with the Edict damage coming out from Butter, they might just be able to get the kill on Mystery Player, but he's popped the healing ward on the floor. What the hell was that Timber Chain? Completely off the mark. They've even brought in Rival, who's disconnected at level 1. Dual Breath coming out from the Jakiro. Nobody dies so far. Mystery Player's kept this fight going long enough for his Blade Fury to almost come back online, but Darshan is back into the fray. Timber Chain available, gets Rival. However, they will sacrifice Butter for it. That's a trade that actually favors ATE Gaming. But now, if they can get a return kill here, there's another Timber Chain coming out. Mystery player with the Blade Fury doing a fair bit of damage here upon Darshan, but the regen ticking in another Timber Chain as he goes back in. Mystery player pops all those stick charges, stays alive for all of this now, but Darshan is back, and so too is Butter. They'll get the kill on the Juggernaut in a long, winded and drawn out engagement where Butter even respawned and came back into the fight. Team Buriza comes out on top. Well, Nevermore, he's just happy that no supports are sticking around in this bottom lane anymore. Happy to take whatever little bit of farm and XP that he can by himself. But look at this. The middle lane is just getting out of hand here for Zeus. Micro. Got 32 and 15 CS while the OD is sitting at a meager 19 and 2. I mean, that's just... Okay, Zeus is dead. He can attempt that TP, but he's going nowhere. He already popped the Astral Imprisonment for creep, unfortunately. But now, up top again, they do connect with the splitter. Blue Frog's in a lot of trouble here. Way too much damage over time for him to deal with. He goes down once again. It's 9-3, 6 minutes in. Buriza are just walking all over them in the early game here. Gaming. Really crumbling with the man disadvantage. Butter. Make a play once again on Mystery player, but fairly certain that this is not going to be an easy kill. Trying to bait out a Blade Fury first by the looks of it. They honestly don't need to do anything else because bottom the Gyro seems to be dominating. Middle lane is clearly crushed by the Viper. Top is the only place where they need to apply pressure with the supports, and that's exactly what they're doing. ATE Gaming, what can they do here? I'm wondering if it's time for Nevermore to get active and go towards the middle lane. Maybe consider trying to set up a kill on Micro. However, the TP rotations will come instantly if they do attempt that. Enough TPs. Rubik makes his way up towards the top lane, but they just have no openings whatsoever to score a kill. Juggernaut has hit level 6, but the Tibbus has got 3 points in reactive armor. He's always keeping that armor up, which means that any physical damage coming out from the Juggernaut is going to be ineffective or less effective to say the least. Gyro. Good call down. He's just going to go in with the Rocket Barrage for now, hoping Missile to follow it up. They've even got Rival coming in from behind. Drop the call down if you want this kill. He doesn't drop the call down in time. Now he's going to turn and drop it. Gets the Rocket Barrage off as well, but just can't quite finish the job on anybody. There's TP rotations coming out, but Zeus, no Sanity's Eclipse. Probably not going to get this kill either. Thorb's going to stick up and walk away. Here comes the splitter. A complete whiff from Butter. Zeus. 1 point in the Arcane Orb though. So the insta-steal isn't as much as he would like, but great ice shots coming out from the dust there. Will secure this kill on Butter at the very least, but the Edict damage is still there. Zeus. Homing Missile upon him, but he's going to get away for now. They can't dive this as Team Buriza. Meanwhile, the space has been created on the top side of the map here. Juggernaut continues to farm. Impressively enough, ATE Gaming are not just rolling over and dying here. They're fighting the good fight. 4 versus 5. Darshan. Up a cloak here for that extra bit of tankiness. He goes for the hood as his first item. Recognizing. A lot of magic damage coming out from this dual lane. Lift. Too hasty if you ask me. The Darshan's going to easily temperature away. I'll bottom. Stop bullying, right? He's level 1 9 minutes in. Do you really need to go all in like this for a kill upon him? Well, I guess it was justified. They got a good 200 gold off of it. No mercy whatsoever from Team Buriza. They're even gonna go picking on the lever. Butter comes in, gets that splitter off, has the Edict popped as well. Now Viper's trying to get in range, but the Astral Imprisonment allows Zeus to get away. In fact, Micro just took a hell of a beating under the tier 1 tower. Oh, they got another splitter out top. That's the death on Zeus. The Astro not even coming back off cooldown in the meantime. Rubik tempted a TP, but a smarter decision to back away. While elsewhere, top lane, Juggernaut scores a solo kill on Darshan. I think someone's getting farm on the side of ATE Gaming. Butter into Mystery player on the high ground, but gonna have to TP away immediately. Oh, he's just choosing to trot away at 407 movement speed. Blue Frog. Oh no, he's on the low ground now. If he tries to move mid, he's definitely going to be in for a world of trouble here. Butter sees him. Knows this is going on. Yeah, Butter sees him, gets the Split Earth, gets the Lightning Storm, and with the Edict, he stays on the high ground. Doesn't want to get lifted. They've even got the slow coming out from the poison attack. That'll be the death on Blue Frog. Good setup there from Butter. Waiting, biding his time, and scoring a confirmed kill there. Lane, Micro, taking a beating from the tier 1 tower here. He's going for the kill on it and will get it. No denies, no contest. Viper is just snowballing out of control, while bottom, the Gyro is going to get a tier 1 tower in synergy with the Helm, the Figuro as well. That's 2 towers taken down in a jiffy. Middle lane, look at this. Zeus and Nevermore go for the Viper, but Micro almost kills off Zeus in the bargain. In fact, yeah, he's going to kill him as well. Maxed out poison attack, maxed out corrosion skin. Every single hit upon the Viper is costly at this point. But again, it is something when you're trailing behind, getting a 1-for-1 even trade actually favors you. Especially when Viper is the highest net worth hero on the Radiant side and you kill him. Given the way that Death and Assist Gold now operates. Russian. Pretty much finished episode of Defiance. Adding to his effective HP. ATE Gaming still not out of this fight just yet. I mean, they've been dealt a massive economic blow, but they're still finding kills every now and then. And all this is space for the Juggernaut to keep farming. He's making progress towards the Battle Fury. In lane, they did get the scan off here. It's a Radiant scan. That was questionable actually. Nevermore. Tagged with a poison touch. Ice Spot to follow it up. Butter even gets the Split Earth off, and it looks like the Tusk will survive. He gets the snowball off, goes upon a creep. Macropyre dropped upon his head, and with one poison attack, it looks like they'll get the kill. The Viper Strike. Actually, I believe it was the Nether Toxin that was stolen there. It was a stolen Nether Toxin thrown on the floor, but it doesn't even matter. Team Buriza finds 2 quick kills and loses nothing in the bargain. Heck, they'll even come back for a tier 2 tower. The Jakiro able to pressure it quite a bit, but Butter on towards the bottom lane, gets the Lightning Storm off. Split Earth will not connect. Homing Missile's just gonna zone Zeus out there. Oh hell, they're actually going for this. Astral setup for a Split Earth. He time it. Indeed he will. And then there's a call down and a Rocket Barrage. The death of the OD. ATE Gaming just, it feels like they're getting demoralized here. Everyone except for Mystery Player seems demoralized actually. He's just free farming on the top lane, trying to rack up the net worth. But for every kill that Team Buriza gets, they're supplementing with an objective. This time it's in the form of a tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. Things are not going well for ATE Gaming at all. I mean, 13 minutes in, there is the silver lining in these dark clouds for them. Their high ground is being breached with an Edict, an occasional liquid fire, and a fair bit of physical DPS coming out. It's going to be a slow and steady siege. What the hell? Butter just went in and threw away his life. Butter's down for the count, and that means that this push needs to retreat. Well, technically it's 4v4. Team Buriza are feeling manly enough. They might just want to stick around a bit more. Gaming. I mean, if they can repel this push and find some kills, you'll see a net worth spike going in their favor, giving Mystery Player that much needed Battle Fury. At this point, given that the Leshrac is just level 7, he's going to respawn, TP out and move back in. Lift coming out from the room. The Chakram not quite connecting. There's the Blade Fury coming out as well. And Astral Imprisonment cancels out the Timber Chain, which has also been stolen by Blue Frog. Fall down coming out. Connects upon 2. Is the stolen Timber Chain getting Blue Frog away, but he ends up going down nonetheless to Micro. Snowball coming out and Omni Slash as well. Will get the kill on the Gyrocopter, but it'll be the Juggernaut that pays for it with his life. While Tusk and Zeus, or rather OD handled by Zeus, gets zoned out. That's the death of the tier 3 tower 15 minutes in. High ground breach has been successful. Buriza even force out a buyback from the Rubik, but are not letting up on this push. They're still going to work on the barracks. And the saw Timber Chains away, doesn't get tagged by the Sandy's Eclipse and lives to fight once again. Here comes Butter with the Edict Pop as well as the Supernova, oh sorry, the Pulse Nova, going to work upon Nevermore. The Split Earth will not connect. Butter even getting a Curse Crown upon him, but they're gonna get the kill on Nevermore here. Butter That's a stolen chakram from Blue Frog. He ends up going down. Barracks still stand after all, so perhaps the push has been a bit too much here from Team Buriza. A mystery player, he's going in, he doesn't have the Omni Slash, he's actually out in no man's land, which means he can get slowed and brought down bit by bit. RIP Juggernaut. Elsewhere, also RIP Blue Frog. No ball, coming out there. No Rocket Barrage in time, he does have the call down if he wants to drop it here. With the drums, as well as the phase boost and that Yasha actually, he's got up Nevermore quite nicely. Another Rocket Barrage available, the call down is there, the Rocket Barrage as well, and with the homing missile, he'll get that kill. Buriza will continue to bring down Barracks on the bottom lane. That's 16-minute racks for Team Buriza. ATE Gaming are just outgunned at this point. Over on the middle lane, Butter still sticking to objectives. Get a tier 2 tower for his teammates, and once again the push will commence. Buriza gonna shrine up and make their way back towards the middle lane. Got some big items coming out with the Viper picking up a Reaver. God damn, I don't think he's killable anymore. Butter getting jumped upon here. The snowball was there. They do have the Walrus Punch as well. They're holding in position. Butter ends up going down there, just sticking around for a bit longer than he needed to. But here comes the cavalry. We're going with the Timber Chain. Blue Frog taking a beating. There's a homing missile chasing him. He's going to get tagged on the backlines, while elsewhere they end up bringing down Mystery Player. Another Timber Chain from the Timbersaw. He'll get away. The Juggernaut that's down for 30 seconds. While he does have a buyback, I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make. You know, at this point, I think the Juggernaut should even consider switching gears. Because getting a Battle Fury is not going to be as effective as getting early damage items. Maybe just go back for the Yasha. Heck, even a Mask of Madness is something I could get behind. I mean, it's not like he's going to get to go farm even if he does pick up a Battle Fury. Might as well find ways to survive and hold off these pushes. But yeah, I think ATE Gaming has just resigned themselves to their fate. There's still a tier 1 tower on the top lane for God's sake, and Buriza have taken 2 lanes of Barracks here. Or at least they're about to. Gaming really falling prey to poor internet connections more than anything else here. Blue Frog is burned to a crisp and chopped in half with Darshan's chakram. Rinse and repeat. Buriza back to the top lane to take some tier 1s, tier 2s, and then the last and final lane of Barracks. The only thing that ATE Gaming can do is hope to rack up the money and the net worth, buy some new items before the push comes upon their high ground, and maybe, just maybe, find the turnaround. I mean, it's such a tall order at this point, but one can always dream. Butter just doing some good old disciplined dotes, taking down towers, clearing out creep waves. But yeah, I think Team Buriza, they've caught on to the fact that one slip up from them could prove to be very costly. Gonna take Roshan first. The Reaver on Micro, they will be able to tank this up quite comfortably. In fact, this death on Roshan is also going to finish up the heart for the Viper. But look at this, ATE Gaming, they want to contest. Going down the Sigil as well as some ice shots into the pit. This is such a slow and painful takedown on Roshan because they really have a severe lack of physical damage at a Team Buriza. OD is just split pushing to the best of his abilities, looking to take a tier 1 as a bargain. Another set of ice shots thrown down there. A contest, you can see Nevermore angling towards them. But here comes Darshan going in. That's the snowball up onto the Ancients. They'll be able to get away for now, but the Aegis has already been secured by Saurabh. And the bottom tier 1 didn't even go down in exchange. $20 in, a 19,000 net worth lead just seems overwhelming for ATE Game to deal with. Mystery player. He did what he could. Pushed out the top lane before, while they were taking the Aegis on the Rosh pit. He's also got his Battle Fury online. Should have a 4-star finished up for the OD as well by the time the next fight commences. Problem is, all of that just pales in comparison to what Micro is packing on the Viper at this point. Here we go, the final stand here for ATE Gaming. Throwing everything but the kitchen sink to slow this down. Viper even playing with his finger, just walking into the bramble maze, tanking it up and returning some of the damage. Actually, it doesn't return damage. Stolen Nether Toxin. Relied upon Darshan. Nice shots trapping him in, but the Timber Chain's gonna take him away. Again, another Toxin thrown on the floor, just slowing this down, but every passing second, the middle and the bottom waves are also gonna start pushing in, applying additional pressure to the lanes. Heck, they've even got a Meteor Hammer here that they're gonna throw down onto the tower. Look at this, Sorab just giving up an Aegis in a bid to take a tower. In fact, he didn't even give up the Aegis. He's ready to fight once again. Call down's available if he wants to drop it down. The Blade really expended the Omni Slash as well. There's the call down coming out. They've got the Astral save from the OD, but that means Nevermore's gone in deep. And Nevermore trapped in the ice path. Looks like he's going to end up opening his life here. Slow and steady takedown upon the task. This now leaves them 3 versus 5 on the side of ATE Gaming and Tower. But it's not long for life. Arrow hitting hard on the barracks. There it is. The GG comes out. ATE Gaming. I mean, this is a beaten and bruised team calling GG 23 minutes in. I think it's safe to say that we all saw this coming. Bariza takes the win. It's unfortunate about what happened to Rival, but hopefully ATE Gaming can bounce back in future matches of the ESL India Premiership. Hope you guys have enjoyed this clowny game. I'm CloudX signing out for now. I'll see you next time.
Alright, so Team Bariza securing another victory for themselves and one step closer to making it to the land finale of the ESL India Premiership summer season. If you guys have missed any games, you want to check them out, you can head out to our ESL India YouTube channel. Also, if you do not want to miss any games, you can subscribe to us to get a notification when we come live to you every single day with all the exciting games from the ESL India Premiership. This event is brought to you by HP, HyperX, Intel and organized by Nodwin Gaming. I'm your host, Angela, saying goodbye to you now and be